Salutations!
Welcome to the Film Mages Podcast, where the popcorn is our ammunition, the couch is our foxhole, and the cinema is our place of worship.
Now let me see your war face.
I think we should go ahead and jump into today's episode.
Do you think we should start recording?
I think we should start
Well,
recording.
I have great news for you, buddy.
Are we recording?
We're recording right now.
Oh my god.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Film Majors.
Film Majors.
I am Zach.
I'm Mick.
I'm Alexis.
Ooh, that I have to say, the anticipation was
Yeah.
killing me. I was like, is she here?
Where is she? Where's she lurking at?
It's like, if she's not here, it's very
Where
scary.
is she?
Film Major listeners, it's been a week. Honestly, it's been a fucking week.
It's been a week every time you listen.
How are you doing?
Yeah.
Film Major listeners, are you doing well?
What I want to know from you guys is what's going on.
Beautiful. There it is.
Yeah.
I think that was one of the
Incredible work.
smoothest ones we've had.
Yeah, I feel like the past few have been kind of rough.
Yeah.
Oh, that's rude.
Well,
It's true.
Yeah, it's you guys. I'm talking to both of you guys.
Yeah. It's very true. I detect no lies.
You've been itchy on
I think mine was good. I think mine was great, actually.
Of course you do.
Well, I'm glad you stand by it.
Alexis, thank you for
Thanks.
practicing self-love. That's good.
Yeah,
So, you know,
my
if-
sister also stands by bootlegs, so
Well,
we've decided
of course
that's
she
the hill
fucking does.
we're going to die on.
If you're a new listener to the podcast,
Yeah.
hi.
Welcome. Yeah, thank you
This
for
is-
checking us out.
This is our famous segment, What's Going On?
Yeah.
And this is where
So
we talk
famous.
about what's going on.
Yeah, and what is that? Honestly, if we were to explore a question, what is going on
Well-
right now? Like, actually, what's happening? It's all dark. I can't see what's happening. What's going on, guys?
I think our filmmaker for today's film would want us to mention
Oh yeah,
that just this morning,
yeah. It's actually
heaven
it's
gained
sad.
another angel.
Yeah, it's really tragic.
The Lord called one of our best and brightest, our finest mathematical minds home.
Yeah,
Theodore Ted Kaczynski was found dead in his cell at the Supermax prison in Colorado today. At 81 years old, the man known as the Universities and Airlines Bomber, or Unabomb, is no more. He shuffled off this mortal coil. So if anyone's wanting to destroy the electricity grid in his honor, now would be the time. Good night, sweet prince, and flights of angels sing thee to thy rest. So that's one thing that's going on.
just having a moment of silence right now.
I have no words. There are no words.
Yeah, so that's a little
There
piece
are
of
none.
news.
Yeah.
That's a piece of news I got like minutes before we
Which
started
is great,
recording.
because
so.
we're recording this the day it happened. People are going to be listening to this a week from now.
It's like, why are they still
Why
caught
are they
up
still
on
talking
Ted
about
Kaczynski's
Kaczynski?
death?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm so burnt out. I'm like, we literally recorded like 2 days ago.
Yeah, 2 days ago.
Yeah, that Film Major listeners, that's a little behind the scenes note for you that we don't actually record this the day we drop them.
Yeah.
Did you know that?
Crazy. Crazy sauce.
Well, there's a reason for that.
Oh, is there
And it's because this week I will have gone to the wedding of Mr. Joey Carlson and Ms. Zoe Hughes, who did our podcast art.
She did our podcast.
She did our podcast art. Congratulations to the both of you. I'm
Congrats,
sure that I'm going to be
girl.
having a great time at your wedding.
Yep.
And by the time this episode is out, you two will be married. Congratulations.
And just remember,
Unless
that
I object.
50% of marriage ends in happiness.
Yeah. Jesus.
Good stuff.
But seriously, congratulations, guys. And if you've ever seen our fucking sweet-ass podcast art, that's
thank
Zoe.
you.
So yeah, that's why we're recording so soon after we just recorded our last episode on Paris is Burning.
Yeah.
I have a sneaking suspicion the tenor of this one's going to be a bit different.
Yes. It's going to be quite a bit different.
I couldn't only assume.
Yeah.
But let's talk about what people really want to know.
About what's going on.
Yeah.
What is going on?
What movies have we seen in the time since we last recorded, Alexis?
Strangely enough, we've seen quite a few.
Yeah, I've
Alexis,
seen
what about
weirdly a
you?
lot of movies.
I've literally done like, I don't know, maybe 24 hours, 26 hours of work in the past 2 days. So I'm going to
Holy
say
shoot.
0, negative, nothing.
doubt.
But I did
She's a-
show my sister the first episode of Girls. So, and she's going to be
Of what?
hooked.
Girls.
So,
Girls?
yeah. So
Ev-
that's it.
so
That's
many-
it. That's the tea.
So many people in my life are telling me that I need to watch Girls. I might check it out.
I've been
at some
telling you
point.
to just watch Girls for a while.
Yeah, and I'm like, Mick,
Not
put
the
the
show.
binoculars
Yeah,
away.
not the
You're
TV
a fucking
show.
freak.
I'm
You're
just
a
like,
sicko.
Zach, look through the blinds. Look at the girls.
No, I don't want to do that,
Look at
Mick.
the girls.
That's why I keep the blinds drawn, to keep them
Okay,
safe
Richard
from you.
Speck.
That's a good reference. Listeners, you'll see where
You're
that's coming
welcome.
from.
Yeah, this is the Film Majors is a true crime podcast. If
It
you
is.
didn't know.
Yeah, we kind of got
Yeah,
the
as
ball
soon
rolling
as-
and Paris is burning.
Yeah, no, literally. Actually, all of these stories that I know about true crime, I got them all from My Favorite Murder. Like, me and my sister, we would listen to that when we're working.
Yeah, it's last podcast on the left for me.
Yeah, Alexis, you introduced me to My Favorite Murder. That's a damn good podcast.
Yeah.
It's really
We
good.
just love them. They're just Valley girls like us, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, Mick and I watched a lot of films.
We did watch a lot of films.
One of which was we continued.
Dun, 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 we continue our Mission Impossible saga, our rewatch, our rewind. And we watched John Woo's 2000
Yep.
Mission Impossible 2.
Yeah.
Which
Definitely one of the weaker entries in the franchise.
absolutely, there's no avoiding it.
Yeah, Alexis, if you are looking to be sold on the idea that these are not bootleg fucking movies,
But like fucking movies.
Fucking bootleg. Yeah.
and I don't think that Mission Impossible 2 is going to do a great job convincing you.
I
Even
told
though
my
that's
sister that I would watch 2 and 3, and then I'd get back to her on how they were.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
not. You're. I feel like you're not gonna really be
Boot-
sold until you get
again,
to 4.
bootleg is an incorrect term, but if we're gonna use it,
If
Mission
we're gonna
Impossible
accept
2
that nomenclature.
is more bootleg than the first one.
You know what you guys are? You guys fucking suck. You're so married to your vocabulary, you can't even recognize slang when it's being
I don't
thrown
believe
in
in
your
marriage.
face.
Excuse me, Mick can definitely recognize slang. He worked with him.
Oh, that was a deep cut.
Which also brings us to the other
I'm
movie that
having
we
like
watched.
PTSD flashbacks from having to edit that episode where it was just you guys talking for 20 minutes.
She's having flashbacks to
Tragic.
Nam, which is another movie we watched.
Yeah, Mick and I also watched Avatar: The Way of Water.
Because we wanted to expose ourselves to some more culture.
Yeah,
This was the first time I've seen it in at home.
yeah.
And I have to say, it holds up.
You're goddamn right. It
It
does.
holds up. And, you know, I'm gonna
Fucking slaps.
I'm gonna go on the ledge here and say that
Get out on the ledge like a man on a ledge.
Exactly. Yes. Fuck, dude. The references today are great. That was a Worthington thing.
Worthington. Sam Worthington.
I don't think it needs the 3D because in 2D it was still fucking fantastic.
That's how it should be, though. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah,
It should
I didn't
still
miss
hold
it.
up.
I didn't miss the 3. I mean, you know, the underwater stuff in 3D is great. But I think we jumped the gun here because we got excited about slang. Mission Impossible 2. Come on, we got to talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, okay, so my like brief blurb on Mission Impossible 2 will be that the first half is largely pretty slow and kind of boring.
Now, the first half hour is good. The flamenco dancing.
Yeah, the flamenco
car
dance
dancing,
is fun, but I
and
don't
also the best mission accepting sequence, like punch to the main credits. It's one of the best.
It's not the best punch
It's
to the
one
main
of the,
credits.
It's one of the best.
There's several I'd take over it.
The sunglasses, really?
I like the sunglasses. I like that as a method
Zach,
of accepting
come on
a
now.
mission. But in terms of cuts to the main credits,
Oh, it's one of the best. It's one of the best.
4, 5, and 6 all have better cuts to the main
Oh,
credits.
I mean, they're great, but are they as good as throwing sunglasses into the camera and with one of the worst?
Excuse me. Light the fuse.
That's
so
pretty good. That was 4, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was 4.
But I would say the back hour of the movie is like inspired
Yes.
John Woo nonsense.
You get all of the gun fu, just shoot 'em up action sequences that you love.
If you like Face Off, you should check out Mission Impossible 2.
We almost ran Face Off after.
We almost did.
But we watched Avatar 2, The Way of Water instead. I don't remember why we did that.
Sage came over.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, no. Once you get to the extraction scene at the biolab,
It becomes pretty fun.
from that point until the end credits, it rules. And also, this franchise is full of fantastic motorcycle sequences.
Yeah.
And yet somehow Mission Impossible 2 has arguably some of the best.
Yeah.
I mean, motorcycle jousting.
Motorcycle jousting is pretty
I
fun.
wish I could remember the name. There was someone on Letterboxd who wrote a review for Mission Impossible 2, gave it like 4 stars and said like, 12-year-old me, this is awesome. 23-year-old me, nah, I don't know. It's just kind of lowbrow. I'm more into art films. 35-year-old me, this is awesome. And I can relate to that.
Yeah, my last thing on Mission Impossible 2 is that a movie where 2 motorcycles crash midair and explode can only be so bad.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Yeah.
That's a good. And
So-
also the knife stunt.
Yeah, crazy.
Which is crazy. If you don't know about this, Tom Cruise was laying on the ground and they like dropped a knife. It was a rig. They didn't let an actor, a stunt guy, do it, but they had a macro shot of an actual blade of a knife, literally millimeters away from his eyeball.
Yeah.
During a knife melee fight sequence, and they did that practically.
Yeah.
Which again, the man's insane. He's
Yeah.
not necessarily the
terrifying.
good way. He's insane.
Yeah. Okay, we gotta hop out of Mission.
All right, enough Mission. We'll cover the next one in the next
Yeah,
episode.
Alexis, I'll be interested to hear your thoughts when you watch 2.
Great. I'll be sure.
Alexis
to
is
let you
withering
know.
away right now on Zoom.
I would use that exact term, withering, slowly.
You look like something you'd
decaying.
find in the pyramid. It's like a mummified remains.
Yeah, which is interesting.
Are you ready to go yet, Zach?
I can't wait.
That's a deep cut.
Deep beneath the earth.
That's
which
right.
Is
Full circle.
deep beneath the sands of Egypt, which is where you'll find my body. Mick and I also went and saw Wet Hot American Summer at the New Beverly.
Which was such a good time.
Yeah, we
Did
they
you
were
meet in the
surprised.
bathroom?
Sorry? Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. No, we were smooching a little.
Yeah.
But there were surprise guests.
There were surprise guests.
Director David Wayne and star Ken Marino showed up.
Which was awesome.
Yeah, and I had never seen that movie with a crowd before. That is one of the funniest comedies of all time.
It was fantastic.
If we do Comedy Month again next year,
Yeah.
I have like a locked
We
pick.
have to do Wet Hot American Summer.
I'm shocked
I'm
I
down,
didn't
'cause
pick
I've never
it this
seen
year. Oh,
You've never
Alexis,
seen it.
You're gonna have a great
You're
time.
loving it.
Yeah, you'll have a good time.
As Zach said eloquently, it's the Mad Max Fury Road of comedies.
Yeah, I truly believe that.
always-
Yeah.
I've meant to see it, just
Yeah.
haven't gotten around to it.
I mean, I've always meant to see Clockwork Orange, and I still haven't seen that either, which is my fucking skill issue.
Well, at some
I've almost
point,
bought it. I
At
should
some
just-
point,
I
we'll
should
get
just
both
fucking-
on the shelf, and
Wet Hot American
you guys-
Summer and Clockwork Orange. Double feature.
2 5-star films.
Yeah. Well, we have Wet Hot American Summer.
Yeah, we do.
No,
We've
fantastic.
got the better one.
Yeah, when you left, I was in line to use the restroom after the movie was over, and David Wayne walked by, and I said, "It's a great movie." Yeah,
Great.
and he was like, "Yeah, thanks." It was a great interaction.
Yeah.
I had to pee so bad.
Well, David Wayne and Ken Marino, if you're listening, I know
Yeah.
you are.
Yeah.
Go ahead and talk to your agents, because someone may have sent you a questioning email
Yeah,
about
Zach,
having you read a comedy script.
I'm actually kind of surprised you didn't not like bring it up to them, because that might have been uncouth, but
Yeah.
at least say hi to them.
It just felt kind of tacky. They were sitting down. I had to get back because we had to watch today's film.
Yes, which fucking hell, I was stuck in goddamn traffic for fucking
Yeah,
ever.
I was stuck in traffic for a long time.
Holy shit. Also, the night before Wet Hot American Summer, I went to the New Beverly fucking again. I'm going there more than like AMC now.
Yeah,
which is
buddy,
nuts.
that's defeating the purpose of having AMC
I know. I need to
stubs.
get back on it. Anyways,
Yeah,
I rewatched Bound. I've never seen that in a crowd before. This is, if you're listening to this, we covered Bound 2 episodes ago.
Go back and listen
please
to it.
listen to that episode. Bound on 35mm film is, surprise, surprise, gorgeous. And I feel a little vindicated because my favorite line of the film, which is, "Oh, it's fucking dark in here," got arguably the biggest reaction. Like, people cheered in the audience. And then also when Gino Marzone goes, "I'm Gino Marzone. Capiche?" People lost it.
So this is a little... Circling back to Bound really quick, it's fucking dark in here, delivered by the incomparable Joe Pantoliano. Little Joe Pantoliano fact that I picked up from the Blank Check episode on Bound.
Yeah, go for it.
Did you know that Joe Pantoliano runs a charity called No Kidding, Me Too?
I believe it. I totally believe it.
It's an awareness group for people suffering from depression, because the notion is like, if you tell someone that, hey, I'm depressed, they'll go, no kidding, me too.
I love how so many podcasts these days are sponsored by BetterHelp. Like, today we're brought to you by BetterHelp. Why are podcasts sponsored today we're sponsored by, hey, no kidding, me too. And no kidding, me too. We find a therapist who's right for you.
I didn't need to love Joe Pantoliano any more than I already do.
I didn't really want to,
but
really.
I do.
But now I do. And then, Bound was a double feature with F. Gary Gray's 1996 film Set It Off, starring pretty much fucking everybody, every iconic black woman to ever exist, except for Pam Grier, which is too bad. She should have been in it. Vivica A. Fox, Queen Latifah, Jada Pinkett Smith, and I fucking forget the name of the
Kimberly Elise.
Kimberly Elise. Great cast. Really good. I love the premise. This might have been... Alexis, have you seen Set It Off?
Nope.
This might be my favorite performance from Queen Latifah. Like, she was hilarious, but also frightening. Her spirit animal in that movie is a fucking pit bull. Like, she was like this tough, butch lesbian who, like, she had that like mean mugging face and shit like that, but she was also like really, really funny and very believable. And yeah, like genuinely frightening. There are some confrontation scenes between her and Jada Pinkett Smith that felt like kind of really uncomfortably real, which just compliments to the acting. Really, really great. But unfortunately, it was kind of mired down in some very... I don't think that was F. Gary Gray's first movie, but it kind of felt like it. You know how a movie does things because the filmmaker feels like you kind of have to, because that's how the formula works?
Yeah.
It kind of has a bunch of that, a bunch of mid-90s mediocrity and an unintentionally hilarious sex scene. It's just so cliche. Slow motion shot of candles, not really showing any intimacy, a very R&B, like R. Kelly type song playing over top of it. Everything is slow motion, but we're not actually seeing anything because we live in a prudish society. Pretty hilarious. But there's also a intentionally hilarious scene in it that I have to give a shout out to, where there's a scene. So basically, they all play bank robbers. It's a really great subversion of the bank robbing genre, of a bunch of black women doing it. And they're all sitting at this table, and they're deciding to do one last job.
One last job.
And it just cuts to them suddenly in mid-meeting, and Vivica A. Fox has cotton balls stuffed in her mouth, and she's talking like this. Do you, Don, agree that this is going to be our last job? And everyone, all four of those actors are doing really good, like, Godfather impression.
in The Godfather.
Yeah, and doing Sonny impressions, because Vivica A. Fox is doing Brando, and then Latifah's doing Pacino, and it's just fucking hilarious. And you can tell they're all really enjoying doing it. Yeah, and it's like, why is this in the movie? But I'm fucking loving it.
Wow. Okay, I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah, no,
you
should. You should check it out. I also think it has a little bit of pacing issues, but at the end of the day, it's a more good film than it is a bad film. So definitely check it out.
Okay, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, two more movies that I watched.
Okay.
Both of which last night. I completed watching Greg Araki's The Living End.
Nice!
Which I enjoyed. Again, kind of similarly, there's, I would say, some... I don't know if there's pacing issues. I think just for me, it felt a little slow. But overall, really interesting characters. And I love how Greg Araki, like, blocks shots.
Yeah.
Like, he just makes really great use of the depth of his frame. And The Living End, I believe, is in 4:3. So for those of you who don't know, it's aspect ratio. It's boxier than your typical film.
That's a good. You're really a film major.
Yeah,
I can tell.
to the layman. I think that's a fucking fine description of
No, it is.
forgery
I'm
to
not
the
saying
layman.
that's a great description. Film majors are good at
I
explaining what 4x3
I heard
is.
you fucking put some stink on that, you little fucking piece of shit. But I really enjoy how he utilizes the depth of the image, and there's one shot in particular at the end that's a close-up of the two leads with one of them behind the other, and it is like, in context, a very chilling shot. So yeah, overall,
it's about Moida, right?
kind of. It's like it's a fugitive story.
Oh, okay.
Which I think is one of the issues with it is like it's clearly a first feature, and he's telling this crime story, but he doesn't really have the resources to realize it fully. Mick's just lost in a fugitive story, which I can understand.
Richard Kimball.
Thank you. Wow, I didn't have to do it. So yeah, good suggestion from Edwin. Please,
thank you, Edwin.
Queer listeners, keep recommending movies to me. I'm gonna pick one of your suggestions for our last episode
Zach,
of the month.
You keep saying that. You better fucking do it.
What if I don't?
Well,
that would be really.
What options do we have so far?
I've had Milk recommended to me. I've had Y Tu Mama Tambien.
Ooh, that's a good one.
There's
a good
been
movie.
Several, but keep sending them in.
You can maybe avoid Milk because James Franco's in it.
Yeah,
Just say.
But then I also watched Leaving Las Vegas last night.
I haven't seen that.
I had never seen. Wow, that's a sad movie.
Who directed that?
Mike Figgis.
That's a real name.
Is Elizabeth Shue in that?
Sorry?
What?
Yes, Elizabeth Shue.
Elizabeth Shue and Nick Cage, right?
Yeah.
We love Nick Cage.
Nick Cage is fucking incredible in that movie. Elizabeth Shue is also fucking great. I love that relationship in that movie. It's like so sad and so intimate.
I've heard that's a tragic film.
Yeah, I would say that there's some stuff at the beginning that feels a little hokey with like, for lack of a better term, Elizabeth Shue's like pimp.
Nice.
He feels
Good vocab word.
He feels a little bit like, I don't know, like a caricature. But once you get to kind of the meat of the movie, that's just her and Nicolas Cage's relationship, it's like just fucking heartrending, and they're both so good. So really glad that I finally got around to that. I would say that's probably up there in like all-time favorite Nicolas Cage performances.
Really?
Yeah, right up there with like Bringing Out the Dead and like Face Off and Mandy.
You really like Bringing Out the
Bringing
Dead.
Out the Dead is like an incredible movie. That's his best performance in my opinion.
Really?
He's so good.
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
That's
Don't know if I agree with that.
I know it's a shocker, but Martin Scorsese brings out a pretty fucking good performance from Nicolas Cage.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what I watched. Those are the things that I watched since we last spoke.
Nice. That's good. That's fantastic. Also, before we hop out of what's going on, Zach, we really should continue our viewing of The Sopranos because someone brought it to my attention that Joe Pantoliano is in that show.
Oh!
Yeah, so we should probably get past season 1.
Guess we better be fucking watching that. Ow!
Yeah.
Mamma mia, manjo banjo.
Yeah, while we are
Manjo
enduring
banjo.
as production people, while we are enduring this writer's strike, solidarity. Let's watch some television written by some fantastic writers.
Fuck yeah.
Let's do that shit.
Alrighty. And
all right,
Alexis,
listeners.
you have anything else going on? Anything just like
Anything
life-wise
pressing?
been going on?
Yeah.
No. No, nothing at all.
All right, let's get out of what's going on.
Wait for the music. All right, kill the music.
I don't hear it.
Did you play the music?
I
Alexis
played
couldn't
the
hear
fucking music.
it. Wait,
Jesus.
play it again. Alexis, you hearing it?
No.
Okay,
Oh, well, it's probably
everybody
played
just
it.
clean your fucking ears out. We're
Yeah.
out of what's going on. Hello, everyone. I hope that little break was nice for you.
Did you grab a drink? Did you grab a snack?
Did you grab a snack? What did you eat? You have a little munch?
Let's buckle up for
Buckle up, fucklehead.
the remainder of our episode, where we have a theme that we would like to explore.
A big old topic, if you will.
Big topic. Again,
It might
if
connect
you're
to the film we're going to talk about later.
if you're a first-time listener, something that we like to do is after we hop out of what's going on and we discuss what's going on with our lives and all the movies we've seen, we like to talk about a topic that is perhaps in theme with our main movie of the week. And today's topic is movies that explore the dangers of fame. Ooh. Yeah. Ooh. Ooh. So does anyone kind of want to take it away? Any movies that kind of come to mind that really explore that topic well, of movies that explore that? Anybody? Going once?
I got a big old long list.
You got a big old long list?
got a big old long list?
All right, I got a short list, so I'll go first.
Yeah.
The two that jump to mind, or I guess the three, are
Nice. Zach's good at math.
Pop Star, Never Stop, Never Stopping.
That's a good one.
Walk Hard, the Dewey Cox
That's
story.
a great one.
And then thinking about Walk Hard got me thinking about Walk the Line.
Yeah.
Which I also quite enjoy.
Yeah.
I grew up. I was raised listening to a lot of Johnny Cash music, so
That's nice.
That movie has kind of a special place in my heart.
I went to a bar last
love
night
that
where they
movie.
played a lot of Johnny Cash songs, and it was really great.
What bar?
The Cinema Bar.
Okay, I'm gonna have to go there.
Yeah, you should do that. Actually, they play some good.
Well, I taught
They play good
weeping
country
willow
music there.
how to cry.
I mean, since you mentioned Walking Tall and Walking
Walk Hard.
Hard, and amongst others, I think Baz Luhrmann's Elvis.
Well, great. I'm going to talk more about Walk Hard.
It
Walk
all-
Hard.
it all comes back to Elvis,
Talking
folks.
about some of the greatest comedies
I
of
thought
all
that too when I put
time.
Elvis on my list.
That's right.
Yeah, no, I knew that was going to come up,
Listeners,
but I'm just going to power right past it.
We have an
Walk
Elvis episode
Hard.
that you should listen to.
Walk Hard is such a great comedy.
Austin Butler was
it
so
really
good
just
in that.
nails the tropes and conventions of the musical biopic genre that I would say few to no musical biopics have transcended since Walk Hard.
I
It
agree.
needed to be a bigger hit.
And Colonel
because they're
Tom
all
Parker does a really
incredibly
good
formulaic.
job of kind of representing the dangers of being famous
Look
and
out,
how
man.
you can be hoodwinked into basically your downfall, essentially.
Yeah, so, if you want to watch a film with a great Elvis performance, watch Walk Hard, the Dewey Cox story.
And Baz Luhrmann's Elvis.
Don't watch Elvis.
It's a great double feature.
It's a bad movie.
It's a good movie.
It's not.
They're both good
Says
movies.
the man who bought me a 4K version
That's
of
right.
Elvis.
Yeah.
That's what you do when you love your friends.
Zach spent money on it. Good job, Zach boy. You hate that.
You're really doing one for the people by putting that in my hands.
Doing one from the Aussies down there and down under.
So those are the ones that sprung to mind for me.
Nice. I want to talk about Alejandro Iñárritu's Birdman.
Oh yeah.
That's a good one. I really enjoyed that movie. And it talks about, it basically kind of explores someone who was once famous and played by Michael Keaton. Fantastic. A lot of people said it's kind of an allegory for his real life career after playing Batman, which, he doesn't exactly agree with, but, read into it however you want. It's a damn good film. It's beautifully shot. He is basically, he's kind of fallen from fame, but that's kind of all he really knows. And so he's just trying to still be a creative, still be relevant. And the kind of crippling depression and feeling of despair and worthlessness that one might get living that life. And I don't know. I think it's really, really well written. It's really, really well acted. You get a strangely really great Zach Galifianakis performance. I say strangely, he's a great actor, but you don't see him in movies like that a lot. It's really, really good. Edward Norton, he's fantastic in it. Yeah, it's a good cast. Really great people. Check it out.
There we go.
Yeah. Also, The Red Shoes.
Oh yeah, that's a great movie.
That's a great movie that also talks about kind of the dangers of fame. Not so much like, being famous will destroy you, but it kind of because it's about a ballerina who is aspiring to kind of like be the best, but then also she has this love, and it just gets complicated.
Yeah, there's a whole rise and fall story.
Yeah.
Alexis, you said you had a big list.
Yeah.
I want to hear it.
I sure do. Okay, so I guess we can quickly go through the biopics. So we have Elvis, Rocket Man.
Listen to our Rocket Man
Oh,
episode.
Rocket Man, yeah.
Gia, which starred Angelina Jolie, which was about the supermodel Gia, and Amy, the documentary that was about Amy Winehouse, which is, oh my God, horrendously tragic. Do not do what I did one year for Thanksgiving and get horrendously drunk on tequila and then watch that movie, because you will just
That's a
be
weird
crying
choice.
for like an hour after.
Yeah.
Didn't she struggle with alcoholism?
Yeah, she did. And as I watched it, I was like, this, you know, where he's like, milk is a bad choice in
Yeah.
Anchorman. I was like, drinking
Tequila
was
is
a bad choice.
Pour one out for Amy Wine, or maybe not.
I was definitely drinking a little bit during leaving Las Vegas, and I was like,
Does that also
I'm-
explore alcoholism?
it's all about so for those of you who don't know, the premise of leaving Las Vegas is Nick Cage is a like Hollywood talent agent who loses his job because of his alcoholism and moves to Las Vegas to drink himself to death.
Well, that's what Las Vegas is for.
Yeah.
That's why they put it in the desert.
I'm just going to say, I'm really glad that I was like sipping on a White Claw and wasn't like
And not chugging a White Claw.
drinking hard liquor.
Yeah.
Because,
That's a depressive experience.
I would have been like, I'm not feeling so good about any of what's happening.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, to be fair, like every single one of those like biopics or like documentaries, like all of these people like struggle with some form of drug addiction or alcohol addiction in order to, I don't know, fill the void or to deal with, I guess, all the fame that they have now.
You don't want no part of this, do we?
This is weed.
Another one is The Truman Show.
That's a good one.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, sneaky pick. I like.
Pick, sneaky.
Oh, yes. Another one is The Valley of the Dolls, which stars our girl Sharon Tate from, I think it's like 1960 something, 67 or something like that.
Yeah.
It would have to be.
And then Chicago. I feel like Chicago kind of fits.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Chicago's definitely about like wanting to be famous.
Yeah. You know what else?
Wanting to be famous, doing anything for
Doing
the
anything,
fame.
yeah.
Yeah,
just gonna say,
that fits really
That
well.
plays into another great movie we covered, All About Eve,
Yeah.
which is another really good movie about the corruption of chasing fame.
Yeah.
How that corrupts one's soul.
That's one of our least listened to episodes, and I'm not that surprised because, you know, it's a movie from the 50s. I believe it's from
Which,
1950.
again, listeners, that's a skill issue on your part.
Yeah, you guys are weak, and you should go back and listen to that episode. And you should, more importantly, watch All About Eve, because that's a great, funny fucking movie.
I've spoken about this when we're not live on air. I think out of all the movies that we've reviewed on this show so far that I had not seen before, All About Eve, I think, is my favorite.
Yeah.
Like, in terms of a movie, I didn't know what to expect. Let's just see what I feel about it. And I watch it, and holy shit. Please watch All About Eve and then listen to our episode.
Yeah, you fucks.
We love you. It's a hard love, you know? Like, we believe in you. We want you to expand your cinema horizons, as you say.
Yeah, or else.
Or else.
Alexis, what else you got?
Alexis with the free
there's this
foot
movie
content.
called,
Yet again, slap your QR
Yes, I
code on
know.
there.
I'm trying to entice Tarantono to join us one last time by putting my feet on this.
He's been gone for a
He has
while.
been.
I'm just
It's
kidding.
because he's in pre-production
Bar
on
the
his
door.
next film.
Yeah.
He's working on his last movie. He can't come into our podcast for a while.
There's this movie called Country Strong with Gwyneth Paltrow and Garrett Hedlund and Leighton Meester and fucking some country star. I can't remember what his fucking name is.
Toby Keith.
And she basically, like, she has an alcohol problem. She's in rehab, and then she's trying to make a comeback. Like, her husband's forcing her to make a comeback, and like the backstory is that her alcoholism was so bad that she had like a miscarriage, like during one of her performances or something. And like the whole time it's like the press are just like after her because of like what had happened. And like, you know, it's like fans love her, but you know, there's a bunch of people that also fucking hate her, you know?
Yeah.
Another one is A Star is Born.
Yeah.
There it is.
Yeah, I was going to say there's certain members of my family, my dad, who would be mad if we didn't bring up A Star is Born.
Mm-hmm.
Like the original
No,
or the new one?
new one. Weird thing about my dad, he's like a fan of Lady Gaga, but like of her
I am
acting.
Oh my
too.
god, yes.
Like
am
he's
too.
not,
Mr. Harris,
I
you're
don't think he's
my
listened-
hero.
I don't think he's listened to her music really.
Which
it
is
was
too
just
bad.
some day where we were just like hanging out, and he was like, "You know who I really like as an actress?" And I was like, "All right, I'll bite. Who? Lady Gaga."
I agree with
And
him.
I'm like,
She's
"You've seen her
great.
in one thing, man." I think this was before House of Gucci, which
I
to be
loved
clear, I
her
liked.
in A Star Is Born. I literally, like, I couldn't leave the theater for like a good few minutes after the movie ended because I was bawling so fucking hard at the end of that movie. Like, I was literally like like puffy, fucking red-faced, like gross, like snot, you know? Like, I could not even leave the theater.
Messy and unfuckable, as Kevin Smith says.
Literally.
Yeah.
I thought it was all right.
Yeah, I didn't love it, but what I did
really
love
liked it.
was Lady Gaga. I'm with your dad.
Alexis, what else have you got?
The last one on my list is Josie and the Pussycats. I bet you neither of you have seen that movie, and what a tragic story
not
that is.
seen it. Is that based on like a TV show?
I don't know. It might be because they're originally, I think they're comic book characters or something.
Yeah, that might be it.
I don't think I haven't seen that. I don't think.
It's from like the early 2000s. The girl who was in the original She's All That movie plays one of the main girls. It's like literally like a 3-girl rock band,
Rosario
and they're trying to
Dawson?
like make it big, and like the boy band of the time like dies tragically in this like plane crash or something.
Yeah.
Like I don't even remember it, you know, like
Oh.
as if they're like in sync or something. They like die tragically, and then Alan Cummings' character is like the fucking guy from the record label, and he's trying to find the next big thing, and then they just happen to walk past, and he's like, those bitches, and then like basically like throws them into the mix of like the big world of fame and tries to break up the band,
Yeah.
you know, like put one of them as like the show, like the front woman.
I recognize this poster from a kid.
It's
Oh yeah,
I remember seeing that
and
at the
Parker
VHS store.
Posey's in it too,
Yeah,
I think.
Parker
Like
Posey.
it's super fucking camp. It's great. The the costumes are fucking like a little outlandish. Alan Cumming is Alan Cumming, so you know I love it.
Right.
But yeah, no, I mean like it's literally like it's just about how kind of like fame can like change, you know, people that you love
Yeah.
and try to like drive you apart, kind of.
you know
Speaking
what?
of,
Yeah.
oh,
I
sorry.
was just gonna say, you know what I think is maybe the best movie about this? Boogie Nights.
Oh yeah.
Have you got to bring up Boogie Nights?
Ooh,
Yeah, that's a really good one.
Dirk Diggler's
That's a good
rise
one,
and
yeah.
fall through the
I-
porno industry.
I was going to say really quickly,
Yeah.
speaking about Parker Posey, she's in a lot of Christopher Guest movies.
Oh,
And Spinal Tap, you could argue, is a good one. And then also, have you seen For Your Consideration?
no.
That's Christopher Guest's movie about the Oscar race and just how fucking shallow people can get when they learn that they could be in contention for winning the award. And it is first time I watched it, I didn't like it because I didn't think it was as good as his other movies, Best in Show or A Mighty Wind, Waiting for Guffman. But on a rewatch, For Your Consideration is really good.
Nice.
It's basically about how people, when they learn that they have a chance at making it big, already in a field where they're kind of successful, but they could win that award. They could now not just be a successful actor, but they could be a prestigious one. How they kind of all, in various ways, sell their soul. They kind of stop being what people are giving them accolades for because they are trying so hard to do what they think others want from them.
Right.
And it's really good, actually. If you have not watched For Your Consideration, you should check it
Okay,
out.
I'll add that to my list.
Yeah.
You know what's a movie that's about the willingness to kill for fame?
The comedian, or what's that called?
I was gonna say Pearl.
Oh, yeah. That's a
Another
good one.
film that we've covered. And you know what? Another film that's about the willingness to kill for fame is.
The documentary about the guy who tried to assassinate Reagan because he's in love with Jodie Foster.
That would be Mr. John Hinckley.
John Hinckley.
John Hinckley Jr.
John Hinckley Jr.
Finish the job. No, I'm talking, of course,
I mean, you're not wrong.
about John Waters' Female Trouble.
Hey!
We got there. It
We
wasn't necessarily that smooth getting there, but we got there.
That's okay.
It's a 1974 dark comedy. As I said, directed by Mr. John Waters and starring Divine, Mary Vivian Pierce, Mink Stoll, and David Lockery. And the description is an obese woman gives birth to an obnoxious child and embarks upon a bizarre and violent life of crime.
Okay, now that is a good description.
That's fucking right to the point.
They have watched the movie.
Oh, man.
I don't think I could summarize that any more efficiently.
So I'm just gonna say here,
And not anywhere else, but here.
if you are at all squeamish, easily grossed out, or have delicate sensibilities,
John Waters is not for you.
go ahead and skip this movie.
Yeah.
I'm talking mainly to my parents, I think, who listen to the show. I don't think either of you guys are gonna like this movie.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm going to kind of lump myself in there. I love all different facets of entertainment, but one type of entertainment that does not particularly resonate with me is grossness, is disgustingness. And I have to say, this was my first John Waters film I've ever experienced. I had a good time, but overall, probably not going to watch this again. It's it was pretty fucking disgusting.
It's a film made to shock the squares, baby.
To be fair, like all the John Waters movies that I've seen are all of his more like commercially successful movies. So like 1988's Hairspray. Me and my sister used to watch that all the time growing up because we had it on VHS, which was the last John Waters Divine performance. And then also Crybaby with fucking Johnny Depp. So.
So I think this is maybe a good spot to get into who John Waters is.
Yeah.
He has been, fans have affectionately called him the Prince of Puke. John Waters is
I love that.
absolutely transgressive filmmaker.
Yeah.
Who was making like schlock exploitation films in the 1970s. He's a gay man from Baltimore. And
That explains the Maryland thing.
yes, that's his
backyard.
Hairspray is all set in Baltimore.
He's literally said that he was intent on filming the trashiest movies in cinema history.
I mean, that's pretty fucking good. I would hand that to him.
I think that's great because, I think it is important for art to be able to challenge boundaries. I think it is a fascist impulse to try to get rid of art that's in bad taste.
Yeah, I was going to say, I just said that I don't find being grossed out to be a great form of entertainment, which is weird because I'm a huge Jackass fan.
Yeah, and I think they owe a lot. I mean, literally, there was a point where John Waters was developing a movie that was supposed to star Johnny Knoxville.
I believe it, and fuck, I would have loved to have seen that.
Well, if you take, for instance, the fact that, like, Pink Flamingos has, like, this cult classic, like, thing in the zeitgeist, and it's literally, like, Divine literally eats, like, some fucking dog feces, and at the time in 1972 when that came out, people were like, oh my god, what the fuck? And then you have Jackass where they've literally, like, drinking horse semen and, like, horse shit.
Yeah, and
So,
I
like,
can
we
guarantee
really come
you,
a far away.
I can guarantee you that Divine was probably eating prop shit. Probably not
wasn't.
real dog shit.
No, she was
No,
eating
he
real dog
was.
shit.
It was real.
No
It
shit.
was real.
Yeah.
I mean,
was real.
yes shit.
Yes, shit.
Wow.
They
really?
followed
Yep.
a dog around for 3 hours
Wow.
Yeah, buddy.
before the dog
Holy-
shit, and then he
wow.
ate it on camera.
Yeah. That's exploitation
I'm
filmmaking.
impressed. I'm impressed with that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Again, there's a reason
It's John
why...
Waters for you, baby.
Yeah, there's a reason
Wow.
why guys like the Jackass guys or Eric Andre all idolize John Waters. It's because
He kind of got the ball rolling.
he pushed the envelope farther than it had ever been pushed before.
Oh yeah.
Interesting.
I also think that
Which
part of-
also making some very, you could argue, good, shocking content for fucking cheap,
yeah.
too. This is an
I mean-
independent
Okay.
filmmaker.
Who was the one? Was it one of you talked about something John Waters had said about mental health?
That was
it one
me
of
when
you?
he was talking to RuPaul. Yeah.
Oh, okay. That shit made me laugh so hard.
Yeah.
There's a John Waters quote. I was watching an interview that he did about this movie in, I think it was 2018. No, it was before that. It was 2014. But he had a comment he was just like, my type is the hitchhiker with the birthmark from Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah, I believe it.
I feel like that should tell you all you need to know about this man. If you've seen Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
See, and it makes me feel so much better because now everything that I've ever said in my life is so tame by comparison.
Yeah, there's always someone more daring out there because John Waters exists.
It's the bar you're
whenever you guys start
yourself
ragging
against.
on me for the things I say, I'm just going to be like, hey,
Alexis,
John Waters did it one better.
You know I'm a fan of the things you say. I have a list of them in my phone. The most
They're
egregious.
great.
The most egregious
Someday
quotes.
I'm going to have you sign an NDA.
But yeah, John Waters formed this group called Dreamland Productions in the 1970s in Baltimore. And yeah, all of his actors were, local actors who he knew who were willing to do all this crazy shit. And that's another thing that I genuinely love about this movie and about John Waters is that he is showing you types of people and types of bodies that you do not see.
That's very true.
In the movies.
Yeah.
I was thinking about the scene
100%.
where Divine is dancing around in the strip club, just jiggling her belly, and the camera.
You know what? I'm going to go on record.
His belly.
I'm going to go on record and say that was pretty sexy, actually.
Yeah, Divine.
I'm not even.
He
I'm
had
not
fucking
even.
screen
I'm
presence.
not saying that ironically. As I was watching that, I was going, yeah. I don't know. If I went to a strip club and I saw this, I'd feel like, yeah, I'm getting my money's worth.
But
this is kind of hot.
That's not something you would be shown in anything other than a John Waters movie.
I think John Waters specifically told Divine that, he should become the Godzilla of drag queens. Which is literally everything about Divine's drag persona is kind of at the antithesis of what most drag queens would aspire to.
What do we know? What point John Waters told Divine this? Was it probably before Female Trouble? In terms of him funneling this.
It was
their first movie.
It was probably before Mondo Trasho or Multiple Maniacs.
Because I wish I had known that quote before I saw the movie, because that makes so much sense.
They were friends before they started making movies together.
Interesting.
Yeah, so as we've been talking about, Divine is the star of this movie. He was a drag queen from Baltimore who was friends with John Waters. And John Waters had this great quote talking about kind of the differences between him and Divine when they were young. He was talking about how he was kind of a hippie adjacent, I think the term he used was yippie, during
not a yuppie, but a yippie.
A yippie during the 60s and 70s. And Divine was very much not that. He liked luxury, and he said, Waters said this of Divine: he liked to live like a movie star, even when he had no money. So he would shoplift and write bad checks. One time, the cops came around and he had to take a lie detector test, and he passed. That's acting.
That is an actor right there. An actor.
But
that's my hero, because I myself live an outlandish life with not a lot of money.
That kind of connects, though, in an interesting way to the ending of the movie where... So, spoiler alert, after Dawn Davenport, as played by Divine, goes on this, killing rampage... she is taken to prison.
Rampages for sure.
Yeah, she's taken to prison and executed, and that was shot in an open working prison.
I believe it.
They brought the electric chair in with them.
Wow.
And I believe Waters said that Divine had been in that prison for a period of time. Because Divine went to jail for a little bit, presumably for shoplifting or writing bad checks. And,
Technically mopping.
Yeah, and nice. John Waters was like, yeah, he was just looking at me like, is this a fucking trap? What are you doing to me, John?
Yeah.
why are you bringing
I
me
would
in
look
here?
at that. I would have that look at John Waters every time I'm set. Like, what are you doing? Is this a trap? What are we doing here, buddy?
What are we doing, John?
Which is a valid question for every scene that they've ever shot.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I again, I don't know if I'd watch Female Trouble again, but it's like I feel weird about it because it's like I've seen it, I pretty much enjoyed it more or less. Yes, I think I did enjoy it, but I don't think I'd watch it again. But I am down to watch more John Waters.
Yeah,
it's
I
like
think you should watch
I'm ready
Hairspray.
Yeah, I'll watch Hairspray, but I also, at the same time, I do kind of want to watch more of his weird, fucked up movies.
I'm definitely gonna watch Pink Flamingos. Because that's kind of like...
I've got to put that in my...
So, yeah, I just want to say, it has not turned me off to John Waters at all. If it's titillated me. Like, I'm more curious now than I was before, even. So, yeah, I'm curious. I might have to pick my next John Waters movie after this.
Yeah. Alexis, how does this compare to the other John Waters movies you've seen? Because the only other John Waters movie I've seen is Multiple Maniacs, which he made before this, and I liked less, although it does feature a scene where Divine has sex with a giant lobster.
Wow.
Which is,
You're selling me on it.
something.
Well,
It's like something out of the Lighthouse.
I mean, like I said, the movies that I have seen are more commercially acceptable movies. So there's definitely a lot less of the gross factor. It's just the characters are outrageous. So like think of like the homies that are in Female Trouble.
Mm-hmm.
Those are
which
like
are great, by the way.
the homies of the main girl, like one of the main girls in Crybaby.
Okay.
Like there's just one girl who has like, her hair's all like teased and shit. And then she's got these like incredibly like fucked up teeth and like lipstick smeared all over her face a little bit, and like she's just like she totally like in the word ugly,
Uh-huh.
I don't know, like his movies are just kind of outrageous, but I really loved Crybaby. It's probably not my favorite. Hairspray's my favorite just because like of the humor, I guess, and it's so like it's so played for I don't know. But Divine is in Hairspray as Edna Turnblad, the mother.
Yeah.
And she's as Edna,
name.
he's just fucking fantastic. I don't know. But actually, in Female Trouble, I really liked the fucking monologue that he had, like, when he was talking in front of the jury. I don't know. I was like,
that
wow,
was
actually,
great.
Divine, you're kind of an incredible actor. I guess I didn't really notice so much before because I've seen Hairspray so many times that like I don't even think about it. But like, yeah, really great actor.
Well, he's also like pulling double duty in this movie, right?
Literally in one aspect.
Didn't he have
or
sex
another.
with himself?
Yes, he
Yes.
did. That's
That
what
was
I wanted to bring up.
That was actually a great sequence.
I
Hilarious.
was just like, oh my god.
I love the skid mark.
I'm
Yeah.
going to go on record and say the
Oh my
skid mark
God,
was a great
no.
detail.
Yeah, so there's a
PTSD.
scene where Divine as Don Davenport gets picked up by some like hick mechanic who then has sex with her. So
Played
it is
by Divine.
Like on a mattress in the middle of the
having
forest.
sex with Divine, and there is a cut behind where you can see fucking shit skid marks
Yeah.
in man Divine's underwear.
It's a sight.
Again, if
But I'm
you're
glad that
of the
sequence was
faint of
there.
heart, you're not gonna
I'm-
want to watch this
and that's
movie.
that's not spoiling
No.
anything. I mean, it has nothing to do with the plot, but it's in the beginning of the movie, and I'm thankful it's there because it really does kind of set you up for the adventure that you're about to go embark on. I really want to just quickly want to talk about the acting in this film. It's all bad. This is bad acting, but it's to the point of it's like bad as like a style. It's like a creative
it's
choice.
purposefully melodramatic.
It's very. It kind of reminded me of I grew up in like theater camp, and we would sometimes make like video skits. This whole movie feels like a theater camp video skit in terms of the style of acting. As you said, Alexis, very melodramatic, but like you can kind of tell actors are just there on screen waiting for their turn to deliver their line, and then they do, and then they're done. But they're still on camera.
Yeah.
I love the dashers.
It's kind of charming.
There's so much, I don't know, there's just so much fun to be had when somebody's purposefully like enticing someone to be the most despicable, ugly, horrendous version of themselves, you know, just like the antithesis to beauty. I really love that.
Yeah.
I don't know, I think I love that about John Waters, that he's not afraid to like make things like ugly and like reprehensible. That's so
his
fun.
mission.
Yeah, no, he is rejecting the, you know,
and the characters
standards of like, you know, conventional heteronormative society and what, you know, is deemed beautiful by the mainstream. He's saying none of that is desirable.
The owner of the hairdressing place is like, you're just so beautiful, you're so beautiful. And then, spoiler alert, Divine gets acid thrown on his face, and then suddenly everyone's like, oh my god, you're even more beautiful now, with this like horrendous makeup that's just so gross, the scar tissue on his face. Ugh,
it's chunky.
It is funky. I described
it's chunky.
It's chunky and funky. It's funky chunky.
It's funky chunky.
But you know, at the end of the day, it's like Aunt Ida says in this movie, the world of heterosexuals is a sick and boring life.
Yes, which is kind of the thesis for this film. It kind of felt like a queer person is examining heterosexual life through their own fantastical, disgusting lens. And it's looking at it that way, it's a lot of fun because it does kind of highlight just how fucking ridiculous and really toxic it can be. You know, like the single mother with some deadbeat fucking dad who impregnates a woman and then doesn't want anything to do with the child. And then
or
the dynamics from that.
Gator.
Oh god, Gator.
Who like tells his fucking stepdaughter to suck his dick.
And then she comes back.
She has the incredible line, I wouldn't suck your lousy dick if I was suffocating to death and there was oxygen in your balls.
Yeah. Which I feel like...
What do you feel about that, Nick?
Well, first of all, great line. Okay, my favorite part of this movie is the screenplay and the script. The lines in this are just so good.
It's endlessly quotable.
And it's a genuine, good third... That's one of my favorite lines. That is so funny.
When Divine is proclaiming herself to be... or when Dawn is proclaiming herself to be...
That was in the courtroom scene,
the embodiment of crime. No, it's right before Dawn shoots the audience.
Oh, before the rampage.
Yes.
Yeah. It's a genuine good 3-act structure.
Yeah.
There's a rise and fall. It follows everything. It's actually quite conventional.
Yeah, it's funny because, it is like, so fucking out there and depraved.
Yeah.
But, it does have like a
works
traditional
as a
3-act
narrative
story.
Because, it follows what we're used to in Western society of it. And it, introduce a character, you introduce a conflict, you have your, it carries the whole thing. It's actually, that's a thing. Female Trouble is really well done. It's just it comes down to what are your personal tastes as a viewer, not is it good or is it bad.
I think I might be a real sicko.
I think you would love it. Zach and I watched it, and as we're watching it, there would be something horrendous happening on camera, and I'm kind of slouching back with a look of horror on my face, and I could see in my peripheral Zach kind of like looking at me and looking at the screen and looking at me and looking at the screen, like waiting for my reaction. Because I know you're loving this shit.
There's a part where Gator and Divine are having sex and Divine asks Gator...
Oh my God.
Dawn asks Gator to have sex with her with pliers.
Yeah.
And I looked over at Mick. And just kind of reveled in his expression of shock and disgust. Because I'm like, that is a filmmaker who has you in the fucking palm of his hand. John Waters wants you making that face.
Yeah.
He needs you
the
making
needle
that
nose
face.
pliers. Wow. And that is like, if I'm, you know what, I'm going to go on Letterboxd, I'm going to review Female Trouble, and I'm just going to go needle nose pliers. Wow, that's my review.
John Waters does know where there's a line. He's had a lot of discuss. There's a fucking story he was telling on Seth Meyers about his movie Pecker, where
Love it already.
there's a scene in the opening of the movie where the camera tracks down into a trash can to reveal two rats having sex. And that's where written and directed by John Waters comes up. And he had like a rat. He was like, I wanted them doing it missionary. I
don't know.
He's like, I just couldn't get that to happen. And the rat wrangler was trying things. Then I was just leaning down and going like, oh, come on, you just fucking get that cheese in that hole. Just kind of talking dirty to the rats. Then I looked over, and the rat wrangler had brought his kid to work that day. So I had to apologize for that. I felt badly. Wow. So, it's not like there's no line for John Waters. It's just the line is very different.
Right there, that's a story of there's not that there's no line. It's like he knows when he just crossed it just now.
Yeah.
He crosses it. It's like, oh, I just crossed that.
Oh, sorry.
There's
Sorry
a child
about that.
in the room.
Yeah. But
speaking of, sorry, 1 second. Speaking of children, the actual child version of the child character in this movie, really good. I laughed really hard when Dawn Davenport grabs the child by her ankles, takes her upstairs to her bedroom where we see a bed
manacles
with handcuffs from the ceiling. They're handcuffing this poor girl to this bed, and it's so cute because the little actress, like, she's sitting in bed and she's screaming like no, but she's actually like putting her hand into the handcuff thing so that she could be handcuffed.
Yeah,
I thought that was so hilarious. It looked like, at least I hope, but it looked like that child was having a really good time.
Yeah.
Like this was fun for her.
Please, for the love of God. I also laughed when the kid like put her arm in her own little
you could tell.
I just laughed over the fact that they were being so blatant with the child abuse. I was like, God, John Waters, you did it again.
This movie has everything that is horrifying to you in this movie.
In Hairspray, the one of the mother of Penny, like that's John Waters' cameo in the movie. Is he comes and he's the fucking like doctor who's supposed to like make her all better, so he's gonna like hypnotize her, but then he just starts beating her. Anyways, love you, John Waters.
That sequence with the little kid is also followed by Divine going, I've done everything a mother can do. I've locked her in a room, beat her with a car aerial.
Yeah.
And tire iron too. She beats her with a tire iron at one point.
Yeah.
And they keep calling their daughter. She keeps calling her daughter.
Oh my God!
Throughout the whole movie.
Yeah.
Like repeatedly, they keep bringing it up.
Yeah.
And I just felt so bad for the daughter. What was her name?
Taffy, and the
Taffy.
actress's name
Taffy.
is Mink Stoll.
That right there is beautiful. Mink Stoll playing Taffy.
Yeah.
Wow.
She's really good in the movie, too. She's very funny.
She's great, but man, her whole storyline is tragic.
Yeah, she gets strangled to death.
She becomes a fucking Hare Krishna person.
Yeah.
And then just gets strangled
I
to
would
death.
also choke her out at that point, too. I mean, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it's so fucking annoying.
But yeah, no, that was a really great performance, but very tragic character. Not being fed.
I love the trampoline.
Trampoline was
Oh
glorious.
my God, yeah. Divine's act.
Apparently Divine did a lot of practice training to do that trampoline scene.
paid off.
So
Yeah. I was gonna say, Divine does some pretty solid stunts in this movie. Like, not only the trampoline thing, but the going through the river at the end when she's fleeing from the cops, when Dawn's fleeing from the cops.
Yeah, the river's clearly going pretty fucking
It's
fast.
going fast, and that's gotta be fucking cold. Like, that looks like it's fall in Maryland in the 70s, you know? Like, it was colder back then.
The things you'll do for fame.
Yeah. It was colder.
It was colder back then.
It was colder back then.
I mean, yeah.
It's this little thing. Have you heard of it? It's called global warming. It's going to kill us all, buddy.
That's true.
That's why we got to disable the electricity grid.
The electricity grid?
Yeah.
By golly, what era are we living in right now? That Divine. She's a real battle axe.
Real quick, I'd like to get into a couple of influences on John Waters. Because one was, he was always very fascinated with the Manson trial. He was there at the Manson trial, like writing up on it. He went to the Manson trial.
Didn't he petition to get one of them like released in like the
youngest
90s
member
or early
of the
2000s?
Manson cult, he has petitioned to get released because he's had like a long correspondence with her, and it's like, yeah, this is like
Because he wants her in his movie.
Well, literally, he was like, if she hadn't gotten involved with this fucking dune buggy cult when she was like, 13 or whatever, she would have been making movies with us. Like, that's something that he said.
The choices we make.
Yeah, it's, I'd be very interested to read his book on her, because he wrote a full book about her.
Mm-hmm.
But the other big influence on John Waters is The Wizard of Oz.
Okay.
That was the big, impactful movie from his childhood.
If you recall, as I was watching the movie with you, I called Taffy the Wicked Witch of the South.
Yeah,
at one point.
I knew this, and I found that interesting, because this is a John Waters quote. I was always drawn to forbidden subject matter in the very, very beginning. The Wizard of Oz opened me up because it was one of the first movies I ever saw. It opened me up to villainy, to screenwriting, to costumes, and great dialogue. I think The Witch has great, great dialogue. It's so funny to me that the two filmmakers that I know were heavily influenced by The Wizard of Oz that we have covered are John Waters and David Lynch.
Yeah. That's very... Because it's kind of...
weirdos.
It's a movie. It's a fucking fever dream.
Yeah, but
That's
it's
what
also
The Wizard
like,
of Oz is.
a marquee movie. It was,
It is.
The blockbuster of its day.
Which means that marquee movies these days needs to do better.
Yeah,
They need to inspire little weirdo
They
freaks.
need to do a better job inspiring the sickos.
They're not cultivating the next wave of artists. Oh, it makes me angry. That's interesting, though, about the fact that David Lynch and John Waters are both like, man, that fucking Wizard of Oz movie.
And they were buddies.
Oh, God.
Yeah,
This story just keeps getting better and better.
Right around when Female Trouble came out, David Lynch was promoting Eraserhead.
Jesus Christ.
How's that for a fucking double feature?
I was just going to say, wow. That's, those are some fucking movies right there. Jesus Christ.
All right, I'm going to start a new call real quick.
I'm going to start a new call real quick. My name's Zach. I'm Dr. Zoom. I'm not Dr. Doom, I'm Dr. Zoom. I'm an evil villain. And I'm Dr. Zoom. That's what you sound like. That's you.
Hey, how about you shut the fuck up?
Dr. Zoom.
All right, so do we have any final thoughts on Female Trouble? Anything that we feel like we haven't discussed yet? Alexis?
Did you know that Divine was actually went to like beauty school and was like a hairstylist before they ever were in any John Waters movies?
I didn't know that.
Oh yeah.
I know that his hair in this movie is real.
That explains the mohawk.
Well, yeah, because he shaves down the sides of it.
Yeah.
It had to have been real. I thought about that at the very end. I was like, oh. And I think he does his own hair. I want to say he's pretty good at it.
So,
What is happening? Good Lord.
Film
in
Major
heaven.
listeners, Alexis now lives at a dog kennel. If you
Oh
didn't
my
know.
God. Dogs are being killed at Alexis's place.
Okay, it's not my fault. We have like 5 or 6 dogs.
Yeah, as I said, it's a dog
We
kennel.
have we have a bleeding heart. We take in everything.
No wonder I'm fighting for my goddamn life editing
God.
these episodes. I'm not
I can't
contending.
help
Alexis,
it.
Alexis is Clark from the thing.
That explains a lot. Because I'm like, I thought I was contending with editing out the barking of like 1 or 2 dogs.
No.
And I'm like, these
Like I said-
dogs
No,
are just like
it's
constantly
6.
in distress.
If we were at the Antarctic Research Station, Alexis would be Clark.
No, it's 5. It's 5. There's 5. Oh my God. Why would they do this to me?
Alexis is the Clark of the podcast.
The podcast.
Yeah.
Watch
the thing.
Clark.
yeah. Watch Clark. Watch Alexis.
And
you watch her close.
Because her handle is also the amoeba, which kind of reproduces asexually, kind of like the thing. So we have to watch. It's a little suspicious.
You're really gonna watch me a little bit more carefully, guys. You never know.
How long were you with that dog, Alexis? I don't know. What are you looking at me like that for?
I wanna roll through a few quotes that I wrote down from this movie because
we should. There's so many good lines.
Some
in this.
great fucking dialogue. So we have. There's no need to know about the president's wars, numbers, or science. Divine explaining to her kid why she does not need to go to school.
Power through it, buddy.
Then there's Gator's pronunciation of the auto industry.
Oh, that kept fucking getting me. Yeah, Gator.
Industry.
I'm going to go to Detroit and I'm going to work in the auto industry. He kept saying it. Oh, shit. That's
then there's the classic, a line which I brought up in our Best of 2022 episode because I watched this movie as a Christmas film because it is a Christmas film.
This is absolutely a Christmas film.
There's Christmas music at the very beginning.
Yeah, this is a movie that lets you know that the worst thing you can do is not get your girl her cha-cha heels.
She needs her cha-cha heels.
Yeah,
she needs her cha-cha heels.
I think this whole movie could have been avoided had Divine
the parents just bought Dawn her cha-cha heels.
Yeah, exactly.
But then there's the classic line at the end of the film as Dawn is canoodling with her lover in prison.
Yeah.
One of the guards comes in and says, "All right, you lesbos, bumping pussies is a violation of jail rules."
That's
Love
like
that.
the most... Again, I haven't been exposed to that much John Waters, but I feel like that... I just feel like that is a quintessential John Waters line.
Bumping pussies.
Every single one of his movies, he says there's just so many lines that are just like, they're outrageous.
Yeah.
You know, it's just that's his shtick.
That is his shtick.
Bumping pussies is a violation of jail rules is like one of the funniest lines I've ever heard. It's so good. There's also when Dawn introduces herself to what's their last name? The people who are having her commit crimes so they can
Dashers.
The Dashers. When she introduces herself to them, she goes, "I'm a thief and a shit kicker, and I'd like to be famous."
Amen.
That is like the thesis of basically this whole movie. You could make that the tagline.
What is that line where they're kind of, it's like they're interviewing her and it's like, oh, like, did you do crime or something like that? He's like, oh, like I do this and that. And like, I don't do crime as much.
No, I don't steal as much as I used to, but I still rob houses.
That made me laugh so hard. I don't steal as much as I used to, but I still rob houses. Divine delivered that just so matter-of-factly. It cracked me the fuck up. Again, the screenplay is my favorite part of this movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. All in all, I had a good time, but I was disgusted. So I didn't love it because of that reason. And I will 100% concede that is my issue, not the film's issue.
Yeah. I think I'm going to have to start getting into some sicker shit because I enjoyed this movie.
Then let's fucking watch Jackass together.
I've seen a few Jackass movies.
And you don't like it?
No, I've come around.
Are you? Are you coming around?
No, I watched Jackass over winter break.
That's goddamn right.
The one that
let's do Jackass, John Waters.
I think I'm gonna watch Sallow at some point.
Sallow,
the 120 Days of Sodom. It's
and Gomorrah.
It's like vile movie that's a refutation of fascism.
Oh, well, that's fun.
But it's
what's the name of that horror movie?
Nasty.
The slime-covered strangler.
Oh, the greasy strangler. Oh, that one got me. That one grossed me out so bad.
I have. I don't typically like put stakes in the ground of like, I will never cross this. But from what I've heard and what little I've seen of The Greasy Strangler, that's a movie that I'm safe to say I don't think I'm ever going to participate in.
I have watched The Greasy Strangler. It's fucking nasty.
Yeah, I don't know if I can do that.
That's
Again, I don't love being grossed out. There was that, Alexis, we watched a cannibal movie together that you really liked, and it really turned me off. Not you liking it, just the movie itself turned me off. It was that French film.
Raw.
I
still need to watch Raw.
I didn't. That was the one you watched, right?
I was surprised that you were so grossed out.
Yeah, I don't do gross out stuff that well, I guess. Which again, I don't understand. Because I love Jackass.
I'm not good with the sound of breaking bones, but everything else is just kind of free play out there.
It's just like when she was eating the fucking... I mean, that's the point of cannibals, eating flesh, but it was just done so like... I don't know. I just didn't like it. Because also, we watched it while we were eating breakfast, and I just... not a good choice.
Having a few cuts of bacon?
Yeah, that's not a good fucking choice.
Well...
Yeah, no, I mentioned this, I think before Female Trouble, the movie that I found the most, like, visibly repulsive was our Valentine's series, Wild at Heart. That movie was kind of repulsive, but this... just took it to a whole new level.
Oh yeah,
this is you can't even compare them.
Reprehensible.
Not even you can't even compare them, which is weird because I think I liked Female Trouble more than Wild at Heart.
I think I like Female Trouble more than Wild at Heart too. I find this movie such a fun time. If you can tolerate some nasty shit,
yeah,
I highly recommend this movie to you because it is very funny.
Yeah.
And
funnily enough, my mom did pop in for part of the movie, and I just thanked God that she did not end up seeing any of the actual gross shit, because she was laughing. She was laughing at the movie.
Yeah, it's funny.
And she's like, oh, this is funny. What's this about? And I was like, I don't know
we'll
yet.
talk about it later, Mom. Walk out right now. Go. Taffy's about to meet her stepdad.
And then as soon as she left, some nasty shit started going down, and I was like, oh, thank God.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, real quick. So if Divine was using his real hair, that means that every time Divine played the piece of shit,
it had to be shot later.
That was all the last stuff they shot.
Divine shaved his head.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would have been
interesting.
After they shot the execution scene, because Divine shaved his head for that.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's right. That's interesting. Yeah, just the logistics of filmmaking. Huh, that's kind of an interesting thing to think about.
Yeah.
So that means, I wonder if the mattress sex scene was like one of the last things they shot with Divine as Dawn. Because then it's still the same location. Maybe that's the day Dawn... No, it couldn't because then Davenport had like a mohawk thing going on. I don't know. I'd be really curious to see which order they shot this movie in. That's fascinating. As an AD, I think that's really interesting.
Yeah.
So yeah, me personally, first time I was exposed to John Waters, all in all, I was fucking disgusted, but I had a great fucking time. I'm glad. I don't think I'm going to watch Female Trouble again, at least not for a while, but I am excited to watch more of his movies, and I want to watch more of his movies.
Yeah, I would have to say, I think John Waters is like not just one of, if not the most significant queer American director of like, the 70s, 80s, and 90s. But he's like, I would say one of the most influential directors, like just American directors of the past 50 years. There's so much that is owed to John Waters in both the like exploitation and just the comedy world. Like, he is a singular voice, and if you can get into what he's throwing down, you should fucking check out his movies. Also, real quick blurb, he was asked by same Seth Meyers interview where he talked about Pecker. He was talking about Hairspray and how it's been readapted, and he was like, oh no, I get paid every time that happens. I'll write every single version of Hairspray. I'll write the porn parody, which of course would be called Pubic Hairspray.
See, I fucking love his
I
humor.
love this man.
Like that little clip you showed me of him where he did a little blurb like, there's no smoking allowed in this theater.
While puffing on a cigarette.
He was like, yeah, you can't actually like smoke in this theater, but man, who wants to fucking not smoke during a European film for an hour and a half? You should just fucking smoke anyways.
It gives ushers jobs.
It gives ushers jobs. It gives the youths of America work opportunities. It's fucking hilarious. I love his type of humor. I jive with it.
I really, really, really want to see the movie Pecker because I've seen the trailer for Pecker probably like a dozen or so times because it comes on right before Hairspray comes on the VHS. Mm-hmm. So I've literally watched that trailer so many times and I really want to watch it.
Alexis, I think it's a sign that you should. This Pride Month is the month that Alexis finally watches Pecker.
Yeah.
I think we should make that a mission.
Also, everyone get excited.
I don't really want to make any Pecker like my priority, so.
I'd also just briefly like to say, everyone get excited because last October it was announced that Waters will adapt his novel Liarmouth into a film.
That's right. John Waters is still fucking working.
That'll be his first movie that he directed since 2004.
Wow.
Yeah, he's been working since then, but he hasn't made any new films.
You know, I don't really have much to, not really like to stand on here, but shit, I'm probably going to see that in theaters.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Why not?
Yeah. I think I am intrigued by the man as an artist and as a creative. Mm-hmm. So I'm excited to see more of his stuff. So it was Zach or Alexis. It's one of you, maybe both of you, that came up with this movie to watch. Thank you. I enjoyed it.
Kind of a consensus.
It was kind of a
pick.
joint.
It's fucking gross, but it was good.
Plus, you know, I have to shout out Edwin, my brother. Go listen to our Silence of the Lambs episode. Also,
good job,
shouted
brother.
out this movie. Oh yeah, brother.
That's great. Is there anything else we want to talk about?
I think I'm good. I
think that's it.
I love this movie. You know. Check out some freak shit. It's good for you.
Exactly.
Yeah, we love that freak shit.
So our next film, if I may, that we're going to be discussing next week, if you tune in with us, is going to be 1996 Cheryl Dune. I believe I'm pronouncing her name correctly. I think it's Dune, or is it Dunye? I think it's Dune, though. Her film Watermelon Woman from 1996. It was released in 97. This is a movie that's really good. It is not freak shit like Female Trouble. It's actually a kind of heartwarming rom-com dramedy from the 90s. Independent film. It's really, really good. And Cheryl is known as, it's kind of credited as the first out black lesbian to ever direct a feature film.
And she's also the star.
Mm-hmm.
And she's the star.
Yeah.
So I'm really fucking excited to rewatch this because the first time I saw it, I really enjoyed it. So I'm excited to watch it with y'all. Apparently, you can watch it online with Paramount Plus subscription, any premium subscription to Hulu, or you can rent it on YouTube. So if you're in LA, it's playing at the New Beverly next week.
Nice.
Were we in the same class that we watched this with Michelle, or was that one?
No, I watched this in my Women Make Movies course up in Oregon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Lovely.
I think I watched this during the critical theory class we had.
Yeah.
Well, I had with Michelle.
I'm the one who hasn't seen it. I'm very excited to watch this movie.
It's a clean hour-and-a-half film.
Love it.
It was their first film, but Cheryl knew what the fuck she was doing.
Fuck yeah.
I know how to pace a goddamn movie.
That's
all these 2.5 hour movies gonna fuck themselves.
That's the last thing that I'll say from John Waters is he said that there is nothing worse than a long comedy, which I tend to agree with.
Yes.
Yeah.
Great.
Wonderful. Well, yeah, you can, as Mick said, find that film on Paramount Plus and Showtime.
That's right.
And if you want to find us, the Film Majors, on social media,
please do.
You can find us at Film Majors Pod on Instagram and TikTok. And if you want to shoot us an email, if you are a queer person, recommend some movies for that last week. We're coming right up on it. Next episode, I will be telling you what my pick is.
That's
for
right.
our last week of Queer Cinema Month.
Time's running out,
So get
folks.
those recommendations in.
That's right.
And you can email those recommendations to us at filmmagerspod@gmail.com. You can also, if you're on Spotify, you can respond to this episode. You can comment. And, shoot us a suggestion.
Please.
Please do.
Yeah.
Incredible.
What was the last time we checked our email?
You know,
Wait, when was the last time we checked our mail?
let's check the email
Now that
right
the
now.
Unabomber, hey, he might have mailed something before he croaked.
No mail, no new mail. Send us mail. We'll read it on air.
Yes, please do. All right, folks, we're still deeply steeped in Pride Month, thank God.
Happy Pride Month.
Happy Pride, and we'll see you next week.
Yeah, check out those donation links in our show notes.
Awesome. Take care, folks. Self-love. Love you.
Bye.
Bye.